What's going on, gamers? It is LostInPlace, and I have something very special planned for this video right here. This is a gameplay commentary. Yes, that's right, something very unique to YouTube. No, that's not true at all. I don't normally do commentaries, but I do have a very interesting story to tell, so I figured, what the hell, I'm going to go ahead and do a gameplay commentary. And no, we are not going to be talking about the gameplay in this video. The gameplay is irrelevant as usual. You know, you're doing it wrong if you're talking about the gameplay. So what I'm going to talk about, as you might have guessed by the title of the video, is how I used to be a tryhard. That's right, my gaming career, well, not my entire gaming career, but my online gaming career, I should say. It started with me becoming a tryhard and a very big clan guy. So I'm going to go back and flash back quite a bit, and this is Halo 2. Halo 2 on the original Xbox was the first game that I really got into playing online. And for obvious reasons, it was a fucking awesome game. And the online aspect to it was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And there came a time when the Xbox 360 was released, and I ended up getting it, and the only thing I played on it was Halo 2. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? So I was playing my Halo 2, and I was bored, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to play around with some of the demos. And I found this one game, Lost Planet Extreme Conditions. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have played that game. It's kind of a quirky game, and not many people liked it. But you know what? I fell in love with that game as well. Absolutely loved it, and played the shit out of it. And so that was the first game I ever got for Xbox 360, was Lost Planet Extreme Conditions. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I'm playing the game, and I am playing the campaign, and I get stuck on a certain level. So I start browsing the Capcom forums. Capcom was the company that made Lost Planet. And trying to find out how to beat this stupid big-ass worm that was bothering me. So I find this forum, and I'm browsing it, and I see something about a tactical gaming clan. Yes, that's what they're called, tactical gaming, TG. They were recruiting, and I read their opening spiel, and it was kind of appealing to me. You know, at the time I was, like I said, new to online gaming, so I didn't really, I was a little bit shy, didn't really talk to too many people. I was looking to make some friends and stuff, and I'm an older gamer, so I was looking for fellow older gamers, and, you know, more on the mature side, not the screaming, squeaker kind of bullshit. And that's kind of what their intro said. So I'm like, you know what the hell? I'm gonna give it a try. I never done a clan thing, and yeah. So that's how that started out. And they had a website. So it turns out Tactical Gaming still is alive and kicking as we speak right now. Tactical Gaming is a very large clan, and I don't know, probably some people out there have heard of them. I know a lot of my friends from that clan are still subscribed to me, so shout out to TG. But anyway, we'll get to plugging that clan in a minute. So I joined, and I had to register on their website. So that was step one, register on the website, and then I had to go through a boot camp. It turns out Tactical Gaming is a serious motherfucking clan. Oh man, it is no joke. And at the time, it really kind of appealed to me because I was just playing games and screwing around, and this was all about structure, all about order, and it followed a military structure, like straight up military structure. So I go through this boot camp, and what the boot camp was, it's changed since when I did it. This is going back 5 years ago. When I did their boot camp, what it was is like I had a drill instructor who actually got me into an Xbox Live party, and he basically read this big long document to me, explaining to me how everything worked, and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy, but I bought into it. And it was fun. It was actually pretty fun. So like some of the things you had to do, like when you join a lobby, you'd have to check into the lobby. So I would say, LostInPlace, checking in. Now I would acknowledge to the squad leader that I'm into the lobby and ready to play. And when you had something to say, you would have to actually say, break, LostInPlace, and then the squad leader would say, go ahead, LostInPlace, and then you could say what you could say. It was crazy, man. And it was really hardcore. Like, you had to use the forums a lot, and they had scheduled practices. And yeah, scheduled practices, that's right. It was every Sunday and Wednesday night, 8 p.m., and you had to attend these practices. Now, obviously, you know, sometimes you couldn't make them, and they were pretty flexible about that. As long as you let your squad leader know that you couldn't make the practice, you know, you'd be excused. But if you missed a practice, and God forbid you didn't contact your squad leader or your squad assistant, yeah, you get an AWOL. You got an AWOL, and if you got 6 AWOLs, you were dishonorably discharged from the clan, and no questions asked. Simple as that. Pretty hardcore, but again, I bought into it, and like I fed off this structure, off this environment, and it was very competitive. So I joined the clan. I was just a lowly little squad member, and they had military ranks, private first class, lance corporal, and the more practices you attend, the more clan matches you do, the higher up in rank you got on their forums. You get a little icon next to your name, a little flashy JPEG with a military rank. There was no cursing. It was all about maturity. It was as straight-laced as they come, all about respect. And again, where I was 5 years ago, that was about me. I was down with that. I was cool with that, and it was really fun. So as I was spent some time, I actually started progressing up the tactical gaming ranks. And sure enough, soon I became a squad leader. And I was leading my own squad. Wolverine Squad, I think, was the first squad. And this was for Lost Planet still. They had tons of different gaming divisions. They had Call of Duty, Gears of War, Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon. And nowadays they have anything that's a big shooter, they have a division for it. When I joined, it was like, I don't know, 800 members. Last I checked, they're up to like 1,500. So, yeah, so that's pretty much the start of my tactical gaming career, and I bought into a hook, line, and sinker, man. I was all about like ranking up in TG and becoming a leader, and as time went on, I started becoming a big name within the clan, and like people were respecting me. I gave in, I put the TG in front of my gamer tag. I was TG LostInPlace. I had a couple different tags. I was TG LostInPlace, TG Lost Warfare. Yeah, those were my big ones. But anyway, so I after Lost Planet kind of faded away, I changed over to the COD 4 division, and I was the squad leader of the Syracuse squad, and then a couple other divisions, like I was in Battlefield Bad Company 2. I like quirky games like Tom Clancy's End War. It was a RTS game. I actually became the division leader for, like, in charge of the entire division, the game division. So, like, yours truly, the douchebag troll guy that was, like, in charge of the super serious clan division. And, like, I would yell at people if they were cursing. I would kick people out if they were being jerks. I was the ultimate tryhard. And, like, it didn't matter whether it was clan practice, whether it was a clan match. If you're playing Xbox, you are under the TG umbrella, and you need to speak with respect. You can't be cursing, you can't be disrespectful, and that was it. And I ruled with an iron hammer, and that's how it was done in TG. That's how it was done, and like I was about that then. But it's kind of funny, like when I look back now and I talk about it now, it just gets me thinking. Like in a way, that laid the framework, the groundwork for me becoming the Booster Buster. Because one thing they were super against was any kind of cheating, any kind of glitching or hacking, anything like that. And if you were found cheating, glitching, hacking, you were kicked out if evidence was presented. I mean, there was no fucking around with that. So that instilled in me the whole anti-booster sentiment that I still have today. So yeah, time went on, and I ended up being in tactical gaming. I don't know the exact dates, but I'm gonna have to guess it was over 4 years. It was over 4 years that I was super active. I mean, this was 2 practices a week, and how dedicated I am to my YouTube channel is where I was, what I was doing for this clan. I was investing mad hours, mad time into developing shit. Their forums were super, crazy. Like with they had this attendance tracker thing that you plug in people who attended, and it tracked their rank. And like I'd start forum threads in our division threads, like with little graphics and shit, and like do ladders and like tournaments. One of the coolest things, actually, one of my best moments. I'm going backwards a little bit, but for Lost Planet was a very competitive ladder on game battles, and it wasn't as large as Call of Duty. Obviously, the game's a smaller game, but up until now, this used to be my biggest moment in gaming. Like me, my fellow teammates and stuff, we actually had a squad, one of our squads that I was a part of, that I was leader of. We won the game battles ladder. It was of spring of '04, I want to say. No, that's going back too far. No, I want to say I don't know, but whatever. It was one season, and we won the ladder. We actually made it to the playoffs, and we won the fucking ladder. So that, at the time, that was really cool. It was something like I kind of hung my hat on, like, oh, I won a game battles ladder. Looking back now, it's kind of humorous, like different strokes for different folks. I'm not going to knock tryhards in clans. Clan tryhards, I guess it's all right if you're into it, but as I spent the time in it, I kind of realized, it's really silly, especially the people who are like sweating their frickin' KD and like bragging about how they won this, how they won that, and like every game's like clan match. It's not, it's all about the fun. And at the time when I was in TG, that was fun to me, that was enjoyable. But looking back now, I see it should have been more about the people, more about the friends, and I shouldn't have been such a dick or jerk to those people, being like a tough guy, because I was given power, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what happened to me in TG. Like, I became really just all about the rules, the regulations, and that's not what gaming is about. And that's kind of why I branched off and did a 180-degree turn. Like, I was in TG for a little bit while I was doing Booster Busters, you know, like while my YouTube channel started. I actually started my YouTube channel while I was in TG, and I started it because I met the Red Dragon. You guys know I talk about him. He's in a lot of my videos. He was in TG, I was in TG, and we started YouTube channels, and that was the gist of our YouTube channels, was to make strategy guides, tutorials. And as I started getting frustrated with TG and the seriousness of it all, and the clan battles, and the tryhard and every time, you know, I just started to fuck around, and my true personality, excuse me, burping. My true personality, who I really am, is a guy who likes to fuck around with people, a guy who likes to just joke around, have fun, curse, do whatever the fuck I want to do, you know? And that's who I am now. I've kind of unleashed that. And that's where I am now. And it's hard to believe, I know, that LostInPlace used to be a super hardcore tryhard. And I wish that I had a capture card back then, if you guys could have heard me, you know, like flipping out on people if we're in the middle of a clan match and somebody just goes, oh shit, and I'd flip out, what are you doing, cursing? You're not representing us properly, you're sitting out the next match. I would make them sit out a match if they cursed. If they were late to practice, I would document them on the website as being AWOL. You know, like, for real, I treated it like it was a job, man. It's kind of a joke now that I look back on it. But you know what? I'm not knocking TG. I love the guys at Tactical Gaming. They got a really good thing going there, and I guess this could be kind of a plug for their clan. You know, if you guys are looking for a clan that's like super serious and all that stuff, check them out. You know, links in the description. The one thing I did gain from TG that I cherish the most is I got a lot of friends out of that. You know, I met a lot of people with common interests, like-minded gamers. That's their main thing, is they bring like-minded gamers from PC, PS3, and Xbox all together. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. I still talk to a lot of them guys today, although I really don't do the clan stuff anymore. So that's really my story. That's how I used to be a tryhard, and how that kind of changed, or gave me an insight to the mind of a tryhard. You know, I realized what they care about. What they care about is winning in their KD. You know what I care about? I care about booster tiers, and I care about raging. Raging little tryhards. I love it. I love it when I get so mad. Now, what I'm going to close with is, you guys know the show I do, Major League Griefing. I always wondered what would happen if I got a random clan match against a TG clan. You know, the clan that I repped so hard for so many years, I invested so much time and effort into. What would happen? Would I troll them? Honestly, no. There's nobody that's hands off to me except for TG. I respect those guys. I respect what they do, even though that's not who I am anymore. I respect them dudes, and you know what? TG represent. You guys are cool in my book, but yeah, I am no longer tryhard, LostInPlace. I am the troll, LostInPlace. And anyway, that is my little story for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And one thing I'd like to close with as well, I do have a video coming up on Machinima Respawn very soon, another Booster Busters episode, an episode that you will not see on this channel. It will be exclusive to Machinima Respawn, and that's the way it's going to be going forward. So I'll let you guys know when that goes live. But thanks for subbing, thanks for watching, rate the video if you enjoyed it, and I've got a bunch of good videos coming up real soon. So that's it, I'm LostInPlace, and I am out of here.